what is the meaning of life? That is a question that is often asked in a very humorous way. And it's laughed off like it's it's too big of a question to even answer or to even think about. And it's kind of funny because it's not a mystery at all. It's a very simple answer. But still, I'm going to make this a 10-minute video anyhow. But shortly, the meaning of life is that there really is no meaning to life. That's really the answer. But biologically, we can, study this question from different perspectives. Biologically, the meaning of life is to reproduce and then die and become, food source, energy source to other species. But we as a people, we have this sort of specialty syndrome. We think that we are somehow so special, we have some sort of special meaning, like each of us, we have some sort of secret, mysterious, special life, and we need to find it. And, and of course, each individual can find their meaning, whatever, it may be. And that's up to them. But I always kind of found it very arrogant, this way of thinking that we are so special that we have some sort of meaning to our lives, to our existence, because there really is none. It's just all in our heads. There is just this moment. There is no past, there is no future. These are just abstractions. The moment and our existence, the fact that we are experiencing it, we have our senses, so we know that we are alive, and we can see from other species, dogs and birds and insects and flowers, we can see the cycle of life through them. They teach us so much. Religion and stuff like that, they try to explain to us or give these easy answers to these questions, because the sort of the reality of things, from science's point of view. And I'm a man of science, to quote Lost. I'm a man of science, I'm not a man of faith. Even though I do believe in my own type of a God, which is nature. Evolution and nature. But yeah, like these things offer us easy explanations to complicated emotions, basically. Not complicated questions, but complicated emotions. Obviously, it's very understandable because we have such a high self-awareness, which most species don't have. Most species just experience the moment. And in a lot of ways, that's a lot more better existence. The self-awareness is a curse of mankind. It's very sad. But yeah, like these things, they can become too overwhelming. And it's easy to get depressed thinking about your own life, your own little life, meaningless life, and just dwell on it. Of course, that's not good for anyone. When you see the truth and you don't get scared looking straight at it, you just accept it. You become empowered. You just become so, in a way, fearless. You realize the situation for what it is. And you start to find the meaning of life in other things, sort of outside of you, not inside of you, within you, which I feel is the sort of wrong way to think about it. Like, oh, I'm so special, I have this and that, I need to do that, for me, it's all just individualism, me. But when you realize that you don't really matter, then you can start to see things clearly, and you see that, oh, what really matters is actually communities. What matters is our surroundings, the things that will be here after we pass, our nature, families, these things, so these are healthy values. And when you start to live your life thinking about these instead of yourself, things they really take a turn. And then you start to think about what you want to leave behind other than just some garbage in a landfill. And when you think about that question, you realize that the true way is actually just connecting with nature. It's a very simple answer to build a life that is sustainable. And you start to develop a life that is completely built upon different sort of values than what is our modern way of life or living, which is just being a part of this system that is sadly just sort of a cycle of destruction, really. And when you realize these things, you also realize that there are other people who think the same way. You might first feel very lonely, but when you start to live that way, you automatically start to, like, even if you don't ramble on these things at your work or to people around you, but you know, the thing that you do see the truth, you know, you see behind that curtain, it starts to show on your face, and it sort of just starts to leak out of you, you know? And you will start to attract people who think the same way. And that's really the best part of it. You can step out of it. You can start to find new type of friends. A lot of people do not accept with these ideas. They will think that you're crazy. They think that, oh, you should just be a part of this system, be obedient. But there is another way. And when you find these new type of people, you can start building new communities that will preserve life, not just your own life, but actually like the life around us, life that is continuous. And they understand that cycle. They truly understand it. And they understand that, for example, raising a family, raising your kids, doesn't need to be the way that we are taught. You don't need to put them into the system and let the system grow them. You can teach them your own values, those real values that life is all about. It's also something that people forget because they don't study history. That this type of a way of living is just a brand new thing. Industrialism really created this type of a life where we broke apart our families, our communities. We become parts of these sort of, well, modern slaves is what we are. We are in huge debts, so we cannot really ever be free. We study for years for these jobs that don't make any sense, don't add any value, and eventually we are just lonely. We just consume, and the stuff ends up on some landfill somewhere. And our lives, we thought that our lives were special,